अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आउज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन। रब्बना आतिना फिद दुनिया हसनतौ व फिल आखिरति हसनतौ व क़िना अज़ाबन्नार। रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली वजअल ली वज़ीरन मिन अहली हारून अखी उश्दुद बिही अज़री वशकुर फ़ी अमरी कई नुसब्बिहक कसीरा व नज़कुरक कसीरा इन्नका कुन्ना बिना बसीरा व सल्लल्लाहु अला मुहम्मदिन व अला आलिहि व अस्हाबिहि अजमईन वल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन। Welcome, dear friends. We will continue with our study of the 24th word, which is on the verse God's most beautiful names, the Asma'ul Husna. Allahu la ilaha illahu walahul asma'ul husna. And to him, so there is no God but him, and to him belongs the most beautiful names. And we went over a few details previously based on how the whole universe shows the orchestra of many of his qualities that we are experiencing. And then the author kind of ventured into how the different saints and many different ways how our human spiritual journey happens in this particular branch. So, like for example, some prophets emphasized some aspects more versus whereas, let's say, the Prophet Muhammad emphasized the resurrection a lot more, and that was left by other prophets not to be discussed much, but all, like for example, the importance of the pillars of belief was heavily emphasized by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. And the author takes us through a journey, which we kind of started off last time with we identified them, one being the flower, which is a dense kind of way of as a metaphor, and then the living droplet, which maybe can be seen like a moon or something that reflects somewhat light from it. And then the third being a transparent particle, which to its ability lets go, like lets the light go through itself. So from a dense material to a transparent material. And then we kind of, all of us basically are journeying for perfection, voyaging of the soul and mind. So I kind of made a little table just so that we are clear a little bit what the spiritual journey of the human soul, mind, and heart for the flower involves intellectual thought, whereas for the droplet path of sainthood and the transparent particle path of prophethood. And some of the things I just copy pasted, striving for perfection through the bodily systems for the flower, and does not give up egotism. So there's still some egotism plunged in whatever the works based on egotism, kind of seeing that they are my works, and then approach reality through deduction and reasoning only. So it cannot just be using our reasoning but we have to use all different human qualities. So we're here, path of sainthood, who have learned what the prophetic message is, following their path. Brother Ali, please go ahead.
Before going to droplets, it means, drops. Yeah. Here, what the flower site which goes, which is also a way to go to the truth, to find out the truth. But it says on the third level, the last level that your chart shows, don't give up egotism. That is me, human beings. If I don't give up egotism, then but try to reach the truth. Still, I may be egotist, a kind of egotist, and try to go to reach my source of existence, God. So they are plunged in works and approached reality through deduction and reasoning only. Now, if egotism is understood in terms of me, human being, as self-centered, self-centered approach to the truth, it means I will find it. I will look at the universe. I can do it. It means really, I don't really need the guidance from my creator. The creator has already given me the capacity to find the truth. Now, it means I am trying to find the truth by saying that I'm going to by myself, not with the help of my creator's guidance, then I will use my qualities to find out that by studying the universe and the existence in general, everything, I say, I got the truth now. What is the truth? This universe needs a creator. That is correct. I reached the truth. But I founded it. It exactly reflects this attitude in the creation itself. How? Look, I'm going to give a typical of repeated example here, tree. I look at the tree or the seed. I look at the seed or DNA, if I am somehow aware of it. I look at DNA, it doesn't matter, but tree is the most obvious example, but DNA is the same. Or DNA, whatever they call it, uh, chromosomes. Ah, God created the tree, gave potentials to the tree. Look, God created me. I understood. I am a created being. God created me. He gave me the quality to find the truth. But how much I could go? There must be a creator, which is correct. But is it enough? I have to analyze my qualities exactly the same way. God created the tree, and tree is now growing, tree is now producing fruit. Exactly the same. This is going through this first category of journey to the truth. So egotism is not, nowadays, it's very, very, very widely spread understanding of truth in the world, including Muslim world. Most of the Muslim scientists sign up for this. Why? They say Allah created the world, the universe. Allah created the first atom with the potential to explode and develop in the form of this universe as it was. They say, Wallahi, I believe in God. I am absolutely sure but they explain the universe in this way because they are following the flowers category, the first category of the path to the truth. Exactly the same attitude in as a person takes, reflects it own interpretation of the universe. That is what I wanted to share. When you categorize it and not give up egotism, I say we have to be careful. I may not give up the egotism of matter or this world or the created beings. God created the horse. Now horse is doing whatever he does. Exactly the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, very good. So all three basically are seeking on the right path, flower, droplet, and transparent particle, but in their own way, different ways, basically. So yes, you're right. The egotism for us, for me. So I have to see how I interpret the universe, the things that are happening, what the events that happen. I may think, oh, is there somebody's efforts that they got something, but no, that is still being plunged in the works.
So exactly this author of this book says, ego in human beings is like nature in the world, in the universe. They say the nature of DNA is such that it produces or does this kind of selections to adapt itself, as if it is consciousness, knowledge, will, whatever, wisdom, as if. That is why it is important, I think, not to stay in the category of flower here.
Thank you. Inshallah. Yes, good to know. So, and the droplet, Maria, you have a question?
Yeah, so do not give up egotism. I didn't catch it. What's wrong with this flower category? It's just mentioning that one does not give up egotism in terms of what? I don't get it.
I'll find the truth. And I can look at the universe, and that's enough for me. And reaching to reaching the conclusion that this universe must have a creator. That's it. I believe in God. I am done. Thank you.
So the ego part is like that's it, not being open for further investigation, knowing that yes, there's more I can do. I can seek a guide or I can seek guidance, but hey, this is what I choose. So sort of like limiting oneself.
Yeah, limiting oneself and not taking. I reached the belief in God. That is, I am done. How about angels? How about belief in the revelation? Do you think that this creator will leave you alone without guiding you how to really communicate with him, to help you understand who God is, how you should develop their relationship with God? So the prophetic exemplary life needs to be acknowledged, and you need to follow the prophetic exemplary life and believe in the akhirah. They are all neglected because these can only be received through the third category, transparent particle category here. It means soul, mind, and soul means nefs here, nefs. Soul doesn't mean spirit. Human, let's say, egotistic soul.
Okay, that makes sense now. That's why we say there must be a creator. The conclusion is not enough. And human beings know that. So now, okay, yeah, there must be a creator. Okay, good. Now, what do I do now? I might as well go kill myself. So and that's why I understand now why this flower category doesn't lead us anywhere, because I would need guidance. Okay, so if there must be a creator of the universe who created me. Now, what do I do in this existence? And so he must speak. Therefore, just realizing this part that he must speak leads me to other route, seek out other avenues to answer my very human existential questions.
Yeah. So this God doesn't speak. The universe is not represented by angels so that we will read the meaning in their existence, go into the details of the creation. Can tree really have any consciousness, any knowledge? No questioning that. And also ubudiyya, worship, worship relationship. I am here not to know God only, but I have to worship. It means have a relationship with my God. How can I have it if I am enough by myself? Why should I perform worship, for example? Most of the time we see these people in this way. They don't follow prophetic example. They don't feel, I know better than them. They lived for 100 years ago. Now I have much, much more knowledge than they have, life experience. My own human feelings are enough for me. I am not stealing, I am not telling a lie, harming anyone, insulting anyone. So that is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are all the lots of things are missing here. Lots of things are missing here.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So I'll totally cross out the flower category in order to seek the truth. Then we're talking about path of sainthood and path of prophethood. And I wonder why the distinction, because I thought that maybe in order to be a saint, one has to have some knowledge of prophethood. And again, this is maybe just what I heard, but I was, wondering the distinction between sainthood and prophethood, because to me, sainthood would also be on a right path. Like, usually when you hear about saints in the mainstream culture, they're like sage, chilled, calm people, but I could be wrong.
No, did you say you could be wrong? No, you are not. We are going, inshallah, you are going, as far as I understand, on the right track. So drop that path of sainthood means I cannot manage this. I have to follow somebody, whatever he says, rather than really using his own human feelings, qualities, his own spirit. Imitation, that is why it is problem. It is a little bit, no, much better than flower, the first category, but much better, but still needs for further development. Droplets side, the second category. Third category is the really what we can do, we should do. Yeah. Now, I would say, excuse me, Awesome, we shouldn't translate this nefis as soul. If you are going to use it in another place with somebody else, we have to say egotism. I think this is egotism, nefis, rather than soul is not right at all to me, because when I use this one, everybody says, "Oh, the soul is very precious," because they mean spirit, ruh. But the book itself, when it says spirit, refers to ruh. When it says soul, refers to nefis. Nefis has nothing to do with soul at all, to my understanding, in English.
That makes sense, actually, because if you look into the flower part, it says, do not give up egotism. And then you look into the second box of droplet, it says, striving with the mind and refining the soul. It's really working out your ego. Refining the soul is like curbing your ego. That makes more sense here.
Yeah.
So if you're getting to the path of sainthood, you're actually becoming a human being. You're a human in terms of you're aware of your human qualities, you're aware of the feelings, but then you don't know much how to direct them, I
No.
think.
Yeah, I am checking very quickly, I'm checking the synonyms for it. Psych, look, soul is, what did they say synonym? Psych or psyche, or however pronounce it, I don't know. Spirit, consciousness, essence, conscience, individuality, personality, of course. And the other option is heart. Other option is individual person, being, creature, mortal, human being, not egotism. Oh, yeah. No, another option is in feeling, animation, energy, spirit, vitality, ardor, emotion. Oh, no, no, no. It is really, really. Oh, for another one, humanity, care, compassion. Look at this. Has not the soul in this category has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with humanity, care, compassion, empathy, heart, benevolence, charity, concern, goodness, sympathy, feeling, goodwill, kindness, mercy, pity, amity. Oh, no, no, no. It is really not only better. It is, use in other words, better. No, wrong. In English, it is to use it in this way wrong. Really? Okay. That is what I wanted to share. I'm done.
Thank you. That was very helpful. And now I'm looking at knowledge and science, reason and learning. It seems to me that the path of prophethood would also require reason and learning, knowledge and science, because you need to connect things with the universe in order to what do you say, confirm the speech of the creator of the universe. So I just was wondering here the categories, like somehow I think that should, I don't know how they're being followed, but knowledge and science, reason and learning should also, that third box within droplet should also fall within transparent particle. Or we could say that the droplet path of sainthood leads to prophethood, then that would make sense. Like we cannot just strictly put these boxes within the categories. That's what my concern is, if that makes sense.
I didn't get your, what's the concern?
So my concern here is that these categories, have these pointers.
Yeah, I
Like
think
we cannot.
science for him means something else, basically, like how the things are basically coming into existence. That's the science. Knowledge and science, reason and learning.
Yeah, I mean, that's the universe to me. Knowledge and science is the universe. So by observing the universe, you reason, you're like, okay, things cannot happen to be in existence by themselves. And so this leads you towards path of prophethood, if you will. So what I'm trying to say is we cannot restrict these boxes within the specific categories. It seems to me this is like a progression of the human.
I think so. Yeah.
Human journey. Yeah, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, inshallah. And okay.
But here still we're relying on knowledge and reason and learning. But here in the transparent categories, belief in the Quran, poverty, sorry, poverty and worship. belief
Yes.
is poverty and worship. So poverty, I think we kind of touched upon last time, knowing our neediness, our being poor, existentially poor.
Mm-hmm.
Ubudi, as Brother Lee was mentioning, worship is missing in the flower and the droplet.
It should be added in the droplet. I would say worship should be added in the path of sainthood. So is poverty, because I'm also looking into the human progression, the human journey. So if I am within the path of sainthood, then I do have a need for worship. And I do have a need that, some superior being help me control situations in my life. And therefore, that's the comment I made earlier about how some of the boxes from these different categories, we can add on here and there. Otherwise, if somebody looks at it like they're like, wait, what? No. So it's one size fits all, not type of situation here, because even to get to the path of prophethood, you need to look into the universe. I mean, you cannot just say, oh, I'm needy. Oh my God, I'm worshiping. And that just becomes ridiculous, because as a human being, I'm here, I'm reasoning, I'm learning, I'm interacting with the universe. So from here, obviously there's this need to worship, but then what am I worshiping? Who am I worshiping? And how am I worshiping would be the main area to look into. So I was just saying, if we were to a little bit customize this table just to make more sense to this current day and age, and so people can make sense of things, I'll edit it that way, inshallah.
Okay, so I'll send you this file, and you can see what you can add to this.
Inshallah, sounds good.
To this day and age, as you said. But these are like, I mean, you're right, they're not strict categories in a way, but just to get an understanding of how basically how the human ego can still be prevalent in one stage, and then the other one is working a little more on it to, as you said, curb your egoistic side, and then the third one is just to the minimum, that ego is very almost nothing. So letting basically submission, complete submission of the human being. So
Yeah,
different journey of different stages. Yeah, brother, you go ahead.
just in your category, at the third category, third level, through belief in the Quran, poverty and worship. It is, I mean, worship is there. That's why I said it is good. Worship is very important because, as Fariha said, without worship, your belief doesn't have an effect in your life.
Okay, inshallah. So Faria said worship should also be in flower and droplet. Basically, that's what Faria was saying. But at a different level stage, I would think, still with the egoistic worship and the egotism. Right here is completely transparent.
Something like ego worshipping.
Yeah.
Worship is there, but ego worshipping. It causes worshipping.
Droplet should definitely have it. Droplet part.
But the droplet and the transparent particle may vary. One of them is transparent particle. It means the third category, worship through heart. Droplet, worship through mind. Knowledge-wise worship. Like I find myself when I pray or something, I pray with my mind. So that is still, there is worship, yes, but through mind, I feel it. I don't know, just my personal feeling.
I mean, look, the matter of the hearts, only the creator of the universe knows. But like anyone you speak to general public, regardless of what background they're coming from, there is this need of prayer, worship, doesn't matter how people are doing it. And, sometimes when you talk to people, it seems to be like a genuine need, even coming from the heart, not even the mind, like, oh, I need this, this, this. No, nobody does that because things are logically, you want something, just follow the order in creation, you get it. But, there's some situations where people are really, really, really needy, supplicating, they're going, performing their prayers, no matter whichever ways, doesn't matter, but there's still need as a human being. Or perhaps we can say in this development stage from intellectual thought to path of sainthood to path of prophethood. I do agree, maybe at the first level of the flower, yeah, it's so egotistic worship. Oh, I don't know, whatever you're worshiping there, but then at least the phase from the droplet to the transparent particle, I mean, the human being, when one realizes their humanness, I mean, there is this worship of the heart. But then I guess with the path of prophethood, then the details are given in terms of how to best perform this worship of the heart. Because if to talk about worship, it is really something coming from the heart. It's not from the mind. It's ridiculous otherwise. I just wanted to share my thoughts. Thanks.
Thank you. So in a way, you're saying we're traveling as human beings within all these three stages, in a way.
Yep.
Yeah, we can do that because we're not stagnant as human beings. We are always using our feelings all the time in different stages. And depends on what our condition and situation. So we may fall in either of these categories. That's how I'm seeing it.
And sometimes if I were to argue also about this worship of the mind, I would say that in the religious believing communities, I see that a lot. Worship of the mind, when people are just following religion, rituals, just, because that's how they grew up in the communities that they grew up in. So therefore, the whole thing about, to me, worship, I would just leave it general, like the concept of worship as it is known in the mainstream culture within the general public. It's really a human need, a need of the heart.
All right, thank you. Any other comment? Okay, so we can continue with our reading. So thus, under the titles of flower, droplet, and transparent particle, we shall show by means of a comparison. Oh yeah, one more thing before that. So capacities is important also, are also different. So the comparison of the diagram that was showing, shows the differences between the three groups, and capacities basically are all different. So thus, under the titles of the flower, droplet, and transparent particle, which are metaphors for human condition on how much they are keeping with their egoistic side, more dense versus a little less dense, and then the complete transparency. So we shall show by means of a comparison the mystery and extensive wisdom in the progress of the three groups, So there's the mystery and extensive wisdom in the progress. So all of these three groups can still, they make progress. For example, through its creator's permission and at his command. The sun has three sources of manifestation: reflection and radiance. One is its reflection on flowers. So the sun's reflection on the flowers, that's the category 1, right? So we can continue here, 1. And then the second is its reflection on the moon and the planets. And the third one is reflection on shining objects like glass and water.
The best example for the third category of reflection of the sun is atmosphere. But this is, I mean, it may be very difficult for us to imagine how the atmosphere is reflecting light. We have to know a little bit more of the subject, so that if there was no atmosphere, we wouldn't see the light at all. Only the light can be seen, if I'm not wrong, physically, light can be seen, the sunlight, when it reflects on something. That's why atmosphere is light, looks like light, because the particles in the atmosphere are reflecting the sun. And by reflecting the sunlight, they don't say, I exist here. As if, as you said, they completely became transparent now. When we look at it, the air is light, we say. We don't say, atmosphere. We know atmosphere only theoretically, not in practical terms. So the prophetic way looks like this. The human ego doesn't show it at all. As the prophet said, I have no idea at all. Only God lets me know. And then I will transfer it to you. I have no claim over anyone. That is prophetic approach.
Thank you. And the author, you said, like, the ego is like the nature in this civilization as used. All right.
It's interesting also. I think these three categories, one is its reflection on flowers, one is its reflection on the moon and the planets, and one its reflection on shining objects like glass and water. It seems to me the first category, you're just focusing on one object. That's all you're seeing. As you progress, and if you're following your reasoning path of sainthood, then you're able to see beyond the flowers. So just moving a little bit to the universe, the vast universe and the planet. But with the third category, everything becomes clear, crystal clear, as in you see every particle. You see this, you see like the source of existence of things. To me, it seems to me like the views. The first one is limited view. Second one is a little extended view, but the third one, if you follow the path of prophethood, then you do see absoluteness of the creator in every single event or step of the way, if you will.
Yeah, thank you. That makes sense. All right. Okay, the first is in three ways. One is a universal and general manifestation and reflection, whereby its radiance encompasses all flowers at once. So this is on the first category of reflection on flowers. One is a universal, so that happens in three ways as well. One is a universal and general, where it encompasses all flowers at once. Another is a special manifestation whereby it has a special reflection for each species of the flowers. And another is a particular manifestation whereby its effulgence is in accordance with the individuality of each flower. This comparison of ours is in conformity with the statement that the adorned colors of flowers arises from the changing reflections of the seven colors in the sun's light. Adorned colors of flowers arises from the changing reflections of the seven colors in the sun's light. According to this, flowers too are a sort of mirrors to the sun. Right, so that is the three ways that the sun's reflection on the flower happens: universal and general, and then individual. Basically, one is a special manifestation for each species. And the third one is the individuality of each flower in accordance with the capacity, individuality of each flower. But this statement about the colors, I did not really follow through. The adorned colors arises from the changing reflections of the seven colors. Sunlight. So flowers too are sort of mirrors. Yeah, Faria, go ahead.
Yeah, same thing. I don't know what's going on here. Too much vagueness, too much like flower stuff. Like, what is he trying to say? Because I'm just stuck with, what I shared earlier. This is how I understand the category. So what is he going on to say here? I don't understand. Like yeah, I don't know.
All right, any thoughts? By anyone? So yeah, let's go over it. The example is basically how the reflection happens on the flowers. And as we can see, there are different ways, basically, how the flowers, there are many different kinds of flowers. So there's one general manifestation which combines, like has a reflection on all the flowers. Second one is each species can say I'm getting a reflection in a way. And the third one is each flower has its own individuality, each personality, capacity, and accordingly it reflects the colors. So it becomes a mirror in that way, basically, to the reflection of the sun. It reflects accordingly based on its individuality, each flower, according to how it is, what its capacity is. So in a way, its worship is according to that individuality. That's how what I took away from this.
should we just ignore what the author is saying here? Because, I mean, intellectual path is the flower category. I wonder why they're just giving it the name of flower. It could be anything, let's say. Orange category. I mean, is there a reason why he's using these particular objects, flower, droplets, and translucent particle? I mean, translucent particle, I would understand where things become crystal clear. Droplet would be okay, you're getting something, you're going somewhere. Flower would be just you're lost in la la land of this universe, right? I don't know. I'm just trying to understand, because otherwise, if I'm struggling with this text, I don't know. Good luck to the next generation.
I think flower, when you look at the flower, it receives the light or the color from the light of the sun. But it says, this is my color. After receiving it, shows it. Whereas, that is why manifestation, reflection, and radiance, the terms differ now in a category or by category. So, flower receives the manifestation of the sun and says, here it is, and color is mine now. I got it, and it's mine. But in terms of droplet, the water droplets, what it does, still you see the water droplet, but at the same time you see that droplet reflects the sun. That is reflection. Reflects the sunlight. I am here, but I am reflecting it. Whereas flower said, I received it, it is mine now. Now, the third one is radiance. Why radiance? Because at the third stage, this is on the radiance is on the particles now. We don't see the particles. No, although they are seen by light, but we don't see the particles. The difference is, I see the color on the flower, is color of the sunlight. I see the sunlight on the droplet, but droplet doesn't say it belongs to me. It reflects it. Reflects it. Correct word. Reflects it. Whereas for the particle, radiance, it means go through and particle doesn't show it itself. I am not nothing, it means I am nothing. Flower says, color is mine. Droplet says, I am just reflecting. Particle says, I am nothing, only light. Atmosphere is the best example rather than glass and water. Glass and water is said, but because the word is used in its original text, Zuhre, Katre, Resha. Resha doesn't mean glass and water. Resha means only we see the sign of it, but we don't see the water. That is what called, it's completely transparent. We don't see itself. Like, glass means, I think he said glass now, I understand. When I look through the window, I don't see the glass. I see what is behind it. Maybe the author meant this, but still atmosphere particles are the best understanding. It helps me. I don't know. It may help for others as well.
Alhamdulillah, this was very helpful. Yeah, it does make sense. I think it's all about ownership. Something is given, I'm like, yeah, that's mine. It belongs to me. also, and then second one, the reflection, the droplet has a reflection, but it also, there's an ownership there. Oh, guess what? I'm reflecting it. I'm reflecting these qualities. The third one, as you mentioned about radiance within the translucent particle, is just, I'm nothing. It's given, but it doesn't belong to me. I think that makes sense in terms of even the ego side of the human being.
Yeah.
Trying to take ownership of things. Okay, thank you. That makes sense. But what about this part now? Now what Asim just read, one, another, and another. The first one.
Yeah, these are the manifestation level, reflection level, and radiance level.
Within the flower?
Category in another perspective category. I mean, the same category. Manifestation level, reflection level, and radiance level category. So we say the manifestation ego, or first category, reflection the second category, radiance is the third category.
Right. So that was
The first one.
flower, droplet, and translucent particle. So reflection is for the droplet, manifestation is for the flower. I understand that. But what is okay, so one, another, another. I don't understand this. The first.
I mean, subcategories, as you said, we can ignore it, but it makes confuse.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
Yeah. So I cannot go that deep in thinking.
Okay, thank you for that conversation. So the second is the light and effulgence, which, with the all-wise Creator's permission, the sun gives to the moon and planets. So this is the middle one, the one of the path of the sainthood. Having received this extensive universal light and effulgence, the moon, whose light is like a shadow of that light, profits from the sun in a universal fashion. Then its radiance and effulgence shines in a particular way on the seas and air and shining earth, and partially on the bubbles on the sea and translucent particles of the earth and the molecules of the air. So it sort of becomes the means of further reflection, the second category. That's why it profits from the actual source, and then like a shadow of that light profits from that, then it radiance and effulgence shines. So it still shines in a particular way on the other things. Whereas the third is through divine command, a reflection of the sun, which making the air and the surface of the seas into mirrors. Like the atmosphere is pure, universal, and without shadow. There's no shadow. Then the sun gives to each of the bubbles of the sea, the droplets of water, molecules of air, and snowflakes a particular reflection and tiny image of itself. So does that make sense now? The three categories, the first in three ways, the second, and the third.
It does make sense, the second and third, but I think the first was just broken down further, how everything is given to the color of the flower, like it was emphasized. But then if one is aware, I don't, like I was looking into the last part, according to this, flowers too are a source of mirrors to the sun. Everything pretty much is a mirror, but I don't know.
In different ways. All of them looks like a mirror. One of them is manifestation like, the other one's reflection wise, the other one's radiance wise. I think detailed explanation of the three categories, characteristics of the three categories, giving more and more detailed examples, explanations, not examples.
Okay.
Say characteristics, further characteristics of the flowers.
You know what's interesting? It says the third is through the divine command. Isn't it everything through the divine command also? I mean, I'm just looking into the wordings also. No, go scroll down here. The third is through the divine command, a reflection of the sun. Everything should be through the divine command. The second is the light of effulgence, which with the all. I mean, I'm wondering also with the wordings here. Like, what's the point being made here by the author? I do understand the distinction between, I would say, the different type of attitudes I can take towards creation. But then I think maybe the author is using through divine command in terms of the third attitude within the path of prophethood. I'm aware that everything is through the divine command. Okay.
I think as far as the source is concerned, yes, everything is coming from the divine command. But as far as we are concerned, so we take the benefit from the divine command. I may be just making it my own property and acting as if I am the actor doing what I do, or I may take it as a reflection that's the same divine command and say, for example, look, I got my belief in God, and I am now practicing my ubudiyah. The third one says, yes, I believe in God. Even my belief in God belongs to him, radiance, because he is the mu'min. I'm not the mu'min, he is the mu'min. Even the iman in me, belief in me, is created by God, and I cannot own it. I am just receiving as God wants. That's it. That's why when we follow the Prophet, we don't follow the Prophet, as the Quran says. You are when you obey the Prophet, in fact, you are obeying God. That's why Prophet must be transparent. In Christianity, it helps me to understand. Prophet is not transparent. Jesus is not transparent in Christianity. What is it? It is like the droplet. God manifested in his form, and here his form in the universe, within the universe, in the world. Like droplet, it becomes a droplet. But Prophet Muhammad is, just understand the difference, is not a droplet. It doesn't show himself at all. I'm nothing. Whereas in Christianity, Jesus is just, I'm not comparing religions, just to help me understand this case. All the good qualities coming from whom? In Christianity, Jesus. All the good qualities coming from the Prophet in Islam, Prophet Muhammad, or Jesus including, Allah's guidance, nothing else. They are, Prophet is an shepherd, illiterate shepherd, and Jesus is a carpenter. That's it. I think now it makes sense a little bit by making this comparison. The third category.
Indeed. And I think the point you brought up about the prophets bringing in the message, it's through divine guidance, and that's missing. Doesn't matter which religion it is. It's because people then start worshiping the prophet, I would say, oh, look at this. He you know, he does it this way. He's done it this way, which is very dangerous, I would say. I mean, from what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Hence, slippery slope. It's
Yeah.
all from divine command, inshallah.
So the Prophet Muhammad says, alayhi salatu wassalam, اتبني ربي فأحسن تأديبي. God educated, prepared me, and he made my preparation perfect. It means I'm not perfect. All perfections you see, good qualities of human good qualities in me belongs to God, not me. That is why we have to be careful, really. As you said, it's not a matter of religion. In Islam, we may think that the Prophet is the source of goodness or all good qualities in him. But we praise him because of his service to us, like the service of a particle. Particle also lets me know it is light. The light is from sun, but I don't see particle. I see only light. Whereas when I look at the flower, I look at the flower and see the color there. I don't see the sunlight there. You see, the attitude changes the same reality. I think this three terminology used, manifestation, reflection, and radiance, when we understand the nature of these terminologies, then we can understand the sub analysis of the same truth, inshallah. So we have to, I feel that I have to go back and refer to these terminologies.
Inshallah, yeah. So we can maybe define these, what these manifestation, coming into existence, reflection, what it, as a mirror, reflects certain qualities. So how is the reflection? And the third is radiance, which is, I think, somehow related to what reflection is as well.
Yeah, as Fariha said earlier, all of them are from the sun. All of them. Manifestation, reflection, radiance. Like command of God. You know, the sun represents the command of God. They are all from the command of God. It means God, the belief in God is reflected through of them. Because these three categories, one of them is not kafir, the other one is believer. No, no. He said from the beginning, the paths to go to the truth are three. Made it that three main category there. All of them are attached to the command of God. It means they acknowledge God. Flower, although flower shows the color on itself, and here I am, it says ego, but when you study the flower, you see that flower cannot be the source of the color manifesting on it. So this is just manifestation, but still keeps it. That is ego. Although I believe in God, but I have my own qualities. That claim. That is very interesting, actually. We have to apply it to ourselves, inshallah, inshallah. So what am I doing? What am I manifesting, reflecting, or radiance? Oh, very, very difficult, man. This is very difficult. Oh, may Allah help us. Help me.
I mean, very much needed. It's interesting when you were mentioning about the Prophet knowing that he's just serving, hence radiance. I mean, that's the struggle, like, at least for us human beings, in terms of following the path of prophethood. It's not easy. I don't know, maybe I'm speculating that maybe it was easy for the prophet because he knew he's the chosen one, and you're like, okay, I'm just acting on behalf of the creator of the universe. It becomes easy once you know you're the chosen one. Other than that, as general public, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to do something or follow without claiming ownership of things. I don't know, just some thoughts that occurred.
Everyone is a chosen one, but he's the chosen one as a messenger. Yes, you're right.
But chosen one in terms of, yeah, obviously to be the recipient of God's speech, first of all.
Right.
And second, he's just acting on behalf of the creator of the universe, knowing that, hey, I don't know, for me, I would say that my job would become easy like this too. I'll be like, okay, I have an owner who has employed me. I'm just delivering this. And I'm talking about action, everything you do in life. Then it becomes easier just to live like that. And I'm not comparing myself to the prophet, but I'm just like trying to follow the mindset, the attitude that, as a human being, it becomes easier to act on behalf of the creator of the universe. Because, like, okay, I have nothing to claim, nothing, there's no loss. Okay, here's the message. You want to listen? If not, okay, let's move on. Next person. Okay. And again, maybe I could be wrong. And that's where, Revelation also mentions about how to deal with our human feelings within certain situations. I mean, the point I'm making is that I think life would be easier if we know that we are serving or acting on behalf of the creator of the universe. I think that's at least the human struggle, or that's my aim right now. Inshallah.
I think the time is very late, but I will say one sentence only. We have to pay attention to this description of the Prophet by Aisha. The Prophet is walking Quran. You see, there is no Prophet's body there. Thank you.
So all radiance, inshallah. So it's a journey, basically. Yes. All right, so we'll stop here, inshallah, and we'll continue
From the first way?
from here. Yes, that's in the three. Yep, from the first way.
Yeah, the first way.
Okay.
I think it is included to the beginning.
Sure. Part 5, yeah.
The first way is direct. No, here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, here.
Yep.
That's in the three. Okay. Inshallah, we'll do that. All right. Thank you everyone for your comments. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Al-Fatiha.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.